come and then you see this like this, and then I remove this. So I'm done. I go and then I place the water inside, and then when I come back, I just it is done. As simple as writing ABC. So after you vaccinating all your birds against all the vaccines which you are supposed to vaccinate them against, after you doing all the biosecurity like well on your poultry farm, like you don't allow visitors into your poultry farm, you have a food dip on your farm, like everything is perfect, at the end of the day, your birds fall sick. And at the end of the day, you will find a farmer thinking about where this disease came from. In today's video, I'm going to show you the power of the litter. I'm going to show you what wet litter is capable of doing into our poultry farms, which most of us really ignore, but it's actually costing us a lot, like in terms of the diseases with our birds. So my name is Jacob. I'm a poultry farmer currently doing commercial layers. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about wet litter. You know, the litter being wet. This is when you guys are actually doing a deep litter system, not a battery cage, because with the battery cage, you don't need the litter, honestly. So get ready for the video. And on top of that, I'm also going to show you how our litter normally gets wet and how we can prevent our litter from becoming wet. So a quick one, these are our birds, which are they are 14 weeks and then some days, but let me first try to show you well, so you can take a look at the birds, how the birds are doing. They are 14 weeks and some days, but they have really grown up, to be honest, because the way I see, and then I see the weight, they are really good. So like I was saying, when it comes to poultry farming, the litter which I was talking about, these are the bedding materials which we use in chicken houses. Let me first try to show you. And the purpose of this litter, number one, is to absorb the chicken droppings. Like the way you can see over here, this is some of the chicken droppings. And typically here you can see that this litter is actually absorbing it by, you guys can take a look at this one here. This is dry litter, but the chicken dropping is wet, so it is absorbing the wetness of the dropping. So when they walk, eventually all these chicken droppings will be mixed with the litter and then be dry. But on top of that, it should be some centimeters down, it should be some centimeters down. So that is the litter. And then in the last 3 months that I actually brought these birds in here, I was being disturbed by wet litter a lot, guys, to be honest, a lot. Because when you try to see, you would see both the drinkers and then the feeders are raising up, which I don't think most farmers have this setting, but I want them to start using it. You see, this drinker is actually raised up, and then the feeders are also raised up. In most cases, we would use bricks, and then you would find some people putting bricks, like they put bricks from down here, and then the drinker is actually placed on top. But usually the problem with that is that the moment the water gets finished from the drinker is going to fall down. That's number one. And then second is that with that setting, it is very easy for the birds to stand up here. And if they stand up here, they poop. And if they poop, they eventually make the water very dirty. So that's the second thing with that setting. And then the third one is that even if you have the water inside the drinker, the birds will still jump on here. Now let's say that the water remaining in the drinker is, let's say, a quarter of the water supposed to be in a drinker. And then eventually, let's say the bird is a little bit heavy or the drinker isn't placed all that right, then the drinker actually falls down. That one definitely means that the water which is in the drinker is going to be spilled in the liter. And then that's actually how the liter becomes wet. And if it becomes wet, that's where I was talking about that you get a disease, like out of nowhere. You get a disease and then your birds start dying. Like for instance, coccidiosis. Coccidiosis is actually spread by wet litter, you know, like if the litter is wet, because let me tell you guys, with this litter, if it is wet, let's say a litter is caked up, it is very hard for it to dry up. I mean, I actually have some caked litter here, which I think they caked 3 months ago, but I've tried raking them time and again, but they haven't dried. Like, you cannot actually make them dry with the caking, all of that. So you can guys take a look at the birds, how they have really grown up, to be honest. Really grown up. So I think in a couple of a month, or not a month, we would start expecting these birds to start giving us some eggs from them. So let us try to show you from outside here. Guys, it's a little bit hot outside here. I think for the last couple of times we have not been experiencing rainfall, and then guys, it's really hard. So this is the kind of litter that I was talking about, you know. This is caked litter, and then if it is in there, it is very hard for it to actually dry. That's why I had to bring it out, and then it's now of no use. So you can guys take a look from the outside of the farm, how the farm looks like. And again, it's very sunny, and then of course with some wind. I think we are approaching dry season, but this is not what we expected this time. This time we should have been having some droplets of rain, but unfortunately, yeah, I know seasons are changing. So that was that on the litter. And if you are a poultry farmer out there, I want you guys to actually use this technique, so that it is going to help you so much with the wet litter. And then of course, with the drinkers being dirty all the time, with the chicken droppings, all of those stuffs are not going to be there. You guys can take a look at my drinkers here. They have clean water 24/7. You see, the water is clean, just clean. But initially, when the drinkers were still on the ground, like on the bricks, guys, oh my god, the work was too much. Like, you would come in the morning, you would take all the drinkers outside, very dirty, spend like, let's say, something like 30 minutes washing them, and then bring them. Like, after some 2 to 3 hours, again the same thing. But with this, we are now relieved with all of those stuff. So I can actually tell you that if you are a farmer, once again, out there, and you are also having some problems with the drinkers, this is more especially with poultry farmers who are using this kind of drinkers. But maybe if you are using the automatic ones, then you're out of the bus. But if these are the kind of drinkers which I think most poultry farmers are using, then definitely you have to use this thing. I mean, let us first try to show you how it is very easy to remove this and then put it back. I mean, let us first try to find a way where I can place my camera very well. I left the stand outside. I think, let's try to show you. I think this is going to work. Yeah. Okay. So what I do, I just come and then you see this, like this, and then I remove this. So I'm done. I go and then I place the water inside, and then when I come back, I just it is done. As simple as writing ABC. So what I did is that let us try to demonstrate from this drinker over here. So what I did is that you guys can see. Let's try to, yeah. You see that this drinker has 4 stands. I would call them stands. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I did, I just found a spoke and then placed it on fire, and then I pierced this stand over here. You see, I pierced here and then on the opposite side too, tie the rope in between and then put this over here. So you can do that. This is Jacob's innovation. So if you do this, it will be very easy for you to actually stop the wet litter in your house. And then it will also save you from changing the litter time and again. Let's say if you're actually doing layers, because if the litter is wet, then you can change it, let's say even in every 2 months. But if it is dry, no need to change the litter. And then still on the adjustments, you may ask that what about adjusting them, like in terms of the height? You can take a look from here. This is where we have been adjusting them. So I actually adjust from here depending on the height of the birds. That is that. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, remember to subscribe, like the video, and don't forget to turn on your bell notification. That way you'll be notified immediately I drop any kind of video on the channel. See you.